the gobble of the wild turkey is life-changing. It's simple, but it's life-changing.
And the interaction that you have with the turkey.
That's the perfect word to describe. It's an interaction.
Yeah. Hey folks, Steve Stack, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, coming to you from Pleasantville, Pennsylvania. The third build for Renovation Hunters in their third season. And this build is quite a bit special. Out here on the job site, NWTF has sent representation in, pretty much canvassing the East Coast. And guys, if you would, please tell the people your name and your position with NWTF. Go ahead.
So my name is Skip Motz. I am a regional director. I work in Pennsylvania and Western New York.
Scott Wochton, regional director. I cover Eastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm Phil Farrar, the Director of Field Operations for the Northeast and Midwest of the country.
So we have some clientele here, folks. These guys devote a lot of time to promoting NWTF. It's not a hobby.
It's what we do.
That's right. So, Phil, tell us a little bit for folks that might be watching that aren't familiar with NWTF and that might want to look at NWTF and join up.
Listen, it's actually very simple. Our jobs in field operations, we raise the money for the mission, and the mission is, it's very simple. It's conservation of the wild turkey and preservation of our hunting heritage. We've always been very, very loud and proud about how we incorporate hunting into the conservation model, the North American model of conservation across the country, where you can't have one without the other. You can't have hunting without conservation. You can't have conservation, quite frankly, without the hunting model. And you're here in my home state, Pleasantville, actually, my home area. I'm only an hour away from here, from where I grew up and still live. But we work with the volunteers who believe in that mission. The vision that we have now that we've leashed really tells the reason why we have 240,000 members and over 20,000 committee members that work and say, hey, I want to give my time, money, to raise money for the mission we just discussed. And that's a nation united by the life-changing power of the outdoors. That's the why.
Very well said. And as you were stating that, and we fall into that category of sustainability.
Absolutely.
And proper forest management. So the woodlands, when properly managed, become healthier, and that spills over to the wildlife side, giving them great habitat.
That's what it's all about.
And so we work hand in hand in that mission, and Baird Brothers are very aware of that. They've been practicing that long before sustainability and stewardship was a buzzword, and
right.
And like you say, the heritage.
That's why we're here. I mean, we love it, right? I mean, it's,
you know, and for someone that never has, you're missing out.
You are. It's
Absolutely.
There is nothing better than sitting up against a tree, and whether you hear a bird talking or not talking, if you spend 3 or 4 hours in the woods, you've spent a good 3 or 4 hours of your life.
That's right.
So
that's why I think we all are here, right?
Yeah,
I don't want to speak
drew
for
us
these
to our
guys.
jobs.
how about like youth programs?
We have a program with NWTF called the Jakes program, and it's a program established to give kids opportunities in the outdoors. Some of the kids already have experience in the outdoor. Not all kids have the luxury of being born into an outdoor or hunting family. A lot of our chapters are not necessarily located in areas such as this or rural area. Some of them are urban and suburban areas. So there's a lot of kids out there that have the desire to experience new things in the outdoors, or maybe they don't even have the desire. They don't even know about the outdoors. Right. So we have these programs established where we get them involved in the outdoors, and we call them Jake's Youth Field Days, where we'll have them come spend a day with us, and they go around, they get to go canoeing and fishing and shoot a firearm for the first time or shoot a bow, learn how to trap or whatever it might be. It could be plant identification, those sorts of classes, and kind of gives them a quick snapshot of what it is to do stuff in the outdoors. And it's just a highly successful program. You'd be surprised on how many of those kids that are inner city kids or suburbanite kids that don't realize what's available out there in the outdoors, you know?
That's so important for our youth these days, and to stay grounded to the outdoors. And you know, it's been proven, just like our hardwood products, it's healthier for you to be outdoors. And when you have our hardwood products in your house, it's a healthier home. You don't have all the textiles and the byproducts and the off-gassing of this and that. And you know, that woodland stand over there is serving a purpose right now. You know, it's helping create the auctions and store, you know, the carbons. And then, you know, people don't understand that when we go in, or companies that we work with go in and harvest, a select harvest, that tree is mature, it has fulfilled its life's intent. And now, if that tree falls over in the woods and it lays there for 20 years and decays, it releases that carbon. Right. But if we capture it in the form of lumber and dry it, it stores that carbon for eternity. It's a sustainability, it's a healthy forest, it's getting young people involved, and you guys are so strong in education. It takes, how many volunteers do you say, Phil?
We have 240,000 plus members. We have goals to reach upward of that as well by certain times a year. So we're just shy of 250,000 members, but we anticipate our jobs, what we do, is we put on the fundraising events all over, and it's not for the wary, but these guys could speak more to it too. It's how I came. I used to volunteer and be one of them, and be one of the volunteers, and then I became a regional director, I don't know, 16, 17 years ago. Now it's been a pretty good trip, but we work with the volunteers, and we figure there's about 20 to 25,000 volunteers that are members that work on the committees that put those events on in the form of our local chapter system, that you have one fundraising event a year in your area. That's what starts the whole big wheel spinning, so we can put all the money back into the habitat work, you know, with any upland management that you can think of. We have our hands in it for sure.
Anybody have any idea how many local chapters there are?
I do. We're probably about 1,200. I would think is the right number. I think in Pennsylvania alone right now there's 79 active local chapters, and there's only 67 counties.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, so that it's pretty healthy. It's one of our better states that participate and believe in that mission. I think the key word here is volunteer. They're here because they want to be here. It's important to them for what we do. We're very good at putting our money where our mouth is, putting it back into the habitat, putting it back into the youth programs, the introductions of hunters. We're in the business of creating hunters, not just sustainable habitat, right? So that kind of goes hand in hand with our mission with conservation and our hunting heritage.
Right.
So you don't always get to see like the immediate fruits of that. You know, it's more of a longitudinal thing, but you plant a seed today and you don't know when it's going to bloom type of a philosophy, you know, like let's introduce as many people as we can to it.
I was excited when we got the phone call from Hal saying, hey, we're working on a partnership with NWTF, and that fits. I mean, you guys fit with Reno, and Reno
like a glove.
When they presented to us, it was like it was a no-brainer, and a very unique crowd at you guys' event.
Yep.
It was, you know, let alone the information and education that was available. How many seminars you guys put on those 3 days?
It's
Busy.
lots, and that's what people, you know, a lot of people come for just that. A lot of people come just to you know, it's a avenue just to see all the vendors and the whole industry, really, the hunting industry and fishing, outdoor industry, period. You know, where you could book a hunt with an outfitter, or maybe you did that, or you meet some guy that can take one of your wonderful sustainable wood products and make it into one of those very unique calls. You know, it's really cool.
I had a fantastic experience. I shared it with you guys off camera with Mr. Mark Selman Custom Calls, and you know, next thing I know, I got a buddy.
Yeah, that is for sure. The camaraderie itself, especially with turkey hunting, it's such a unique experience. I'll quote a friend of mine, Cuz Strickland at Mossy Oak. He doesn't say it's better. He doesn't say it's just different, and it's more it's unique within the hunting, and it's just different, and it means so much different to the next person. But I can tell you, you know, just on a personal note, and I've always been part of it. The gobble of the wild turkey is life changing. It's simple, but it's life changing when you're a young person and you're out there in the woods and you hear that thing for the first time.
Phil, here's a comparison I'm going to make, and especially the first one, and whether it be a kid or an adult that hadn't hunted before, you hear that tom go off, and that'll make your heart pound as hard and as fast as a stress test.
There's no question, especially when you know they're coming and they're coming to see you, you know, and they think that you're a turkey, you know. So it's.
Yeah, and I'm sure your buddies, you know, have the same conversation, the comparison between deer hunting and turkey hunting, and the interaction that you have with the turkey.
That's the perfect word to describe. It's an interaction.
Yeah.
Deer hunting, you don't necessarily interact. Yeah, you got grunt calls and stuff, but 9 times out of 10, they ignore that, and you know that. But
they're not talking back at you.
No, they're talking to you. Turkeys are talking to you.
No, they let you
I guess
know.
the closest thing in a bigger animal, elk, do the same thing, right?
Yeah, right there you go.
You can bugle in an elk, but not everybody gets an opportunity.
I call
to do
it
that.
0 to hero in a second.
It's
You
really
nothing,
cool.
nothing, and all of a sudden, pow! It's like wow.
Oh, when the woods light up in the morning.
You know, it's all fun.
It is.
I say it all the time. It's life changing. I remembered my first time. I was a young man, but I wasn't a child. I was 19, I think, at the time, and a freshman in college. And I just remember, like, how did I not do this before this time in my life? You know, it was just that powerful. And that's the why. That's the life changing power of the outdoors that we talk about in our vision.
You realize an appreciation. Yesterday morning, I'm staying down over the hill towards the Allegheny River and in a little cottage, and I walked out to my front windows looking towards the river, and right across the road there were 2 hens, and you could identify the 2 different sets of poults.
Yeah.
2 hens, 8 poults.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, and they were just meandering their way up through that little cottage neighborhood up there.
She's taking them through a meadow, just like the one we're creating here, to go bug and feed and try to stay as safe as we can and get them.
You know, and that's and Renovation Hunters, they're fully encompassed from the family aspect to the wildlife side and the food plots that they've established here, that they're gonna benefit the deer, they're gonna benefit the turkey, and they're gonna benefit, let's hope, with Ron's history of introducing people to turkey hunting.
Yeah,
this food plot's gonna benefit those new hunters.
Be some memories made there for sure.
It's great.
Right. So, folks, there you have it. Three new friends from National Wild Turkey Federation, doing a fantastic job as far as conservation, education, and man, if you haven't spent any time in the woods lately, get out there, even if it's for a walk. Pay attention, listen to the sounds, see the sights, and we have the greatest natural resource surrounding us right here, and take advantage of it. Yeah. So until next time, Steve Stack, Baird Brothers, follow along on their socials, and we're going to catch up with these guys some more and bring you some more great stories.